excuse me, mic was not on. I'd like to call the special called meeting of the Hopkinsville Committee of the Whole for November 16th to order. And I'm going to ask the clerk to call the roll.
Councilmember Francis, Councilmember Smiley,
Here.
Councilmember Marsh, Councilmember Crabtree,
Here.
Councilmember Craig, here, Councilmember Martin,
Here.
Councilmember Wilcox,
Here.
Councilmember Meek, Councilmember Limburger, Councilmember Keel,
Here.
Councilmember Vale, Councilmember Handy. And we do not have a quorum.
All right. Let's go ahead and stand for the pledge, and then we'll go what we're going to do next. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Just some housekeeping items here. Since we don't have a quorum tonight, we can't conduct an official meeting with just 6. However, we do have a few things we can get done tonight. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and do our police department quarterly report and then also our fire department quarterly report. So I'm going to go ahead and call Chief Newby up to the podium.
Good evening, everybody. So first of all, before I give you this report, I don't want to keep giving you guys the same information. So if there's ever reports or numbers that you all want to see other than the stuff that I'm providing, if you'll just call me, email me, and let me know that, you know, if you want to see something different, just let me know, because there's not any report that I can't run. But these are just the basic ones. So first of all, this past quarter, we issued 101 citations involving drugs, and that totaled 301 offenses. And the reason, again, those numbers are different because you can get up to 6 charges on one citation. So that's why 101 citations issued, 301 offenses involving drugs. We worked 299 collisions. And then if you can go to the maps, that's where those are the citations where we issued for drug offenses. If you can go back to that. So you can see the officers are spreading the wealth. They're all over. It's not concentrated in one area. It's all over the city. So the next one, we worked 299 collisions last quarter. One of those was a fatality, and 63 of those involved injuries. And as you can see there, those are the locations of the accidents. Biggest majority of them happened obviously on Fort Campbell Boulevard, including the fatality that we had this last quarter. The next one, we made a total of 697 arrests in the last quarter, totaling 1,199 offenses. And so you can see there, it's all over the city. It's not just specific areas where the crime's occurring. It's all over. The last quarter, we seized approximately $148,291.87 in cash. Those cases will go through the court system, and then hopefully will be turned over to our drug funds so that money can be used. So keep in mind, that was just in one quarter. We seized approximately 5 pounds of fentanyl, about 2 pounds of methamphetamine, and about 6.5 ounces of cocaine. So you can see that fentanyl is the biggest drug problem that we have in our city now. And that's because they're lacing everything with fentanyl, marijuana, cocaine. They have pill presses. They're making fentanyl pills. Our overdoses that we're having are the fatal overdoses. They're all because of fentanyl. So that's the city's new problem drug. Does anybody have any questions about any of that? Yes, sir.
You know, I looked at this pretty close, and it looks like the juvenile number is low, and that's a good thing, but is there a reason for that, or is that really low, or is that just my interpretation?
The juvenile for the,
Well, like with the citations, it's
Mhm.
like 9. To me, that seemed like a low number. I mean, are we
Yeah.
just not having problems that?
no, we do have issues with juveniles. It's hard to say why those numbers fluctuate from one quarter to another. Sometimes it could be because they're in school or they're out of school, spring break, fall break. So, there's a lot of factors that go into the activity, the weather.
Mhm.
But there's really the next quarter may be totally different.
Right.
That's
Okay.
just the numbers. They are what they are. Any other questions? I do want to I want to remind you all, just food for thought. I know that we ask for money for more cruisers and stuff, and I want everybody to remember, we're no longer funding a 63 officer department. We're funding a 81 officer department now. When I applied for this job, the mayor asked me, he said, how many officers do you think we should have patrolling? And I said, I would love to have one officer in each ward. If by the time spring is over, when we get these officers that are in the academy out, we're going to have approximately 11 officers on each shift. And that's going to allow us also a couple of hours throughout the day. We're going to have an overlap. So we're going to have almost 2 officers that can patrol each ward. So I just want you to all to remember, when the next budget comes up, we will be asking for more money. And it's not because we want it, it's because we need it. You've got more officers now, and that comes at a price. The other thing that I want to remind you all, the plan is for us next year to take over all the schools. I want you to remember that 4 of those schools are out in the county. They're outside the city limits. So I want you all to be thinking about that. And if there's any issues that council may end up having with city officers taking care of schools out in the county, that's an issue I need to know about so I can work with Sheriff DeArmond. So just keep that in the back of your minds and know that those are some issues that I'll be bringing to your attention when it comes time for the budget. So I just want you to be thinking about small things like that. Are we okay with covering schools in the county? So any questions?
Any more questions for Steve Newman?
All right.
No,
If there's
thank you,
numbers
sir.
you guys want to see, just like I said, let me know. I'll be happy to run them and bring them to you at the next quarterly report.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
And now we'll call on Chief Futrell.
Good evening, everyone. So this is our quarterly report for our total fire incidents. We had 1,140, which was busy for us in this quarter, with 35 of those being fires. The majority of those are rescue and medical calls. That's normal for us. We did have 5 house fires and 9 vehicle fires. The non-residential fires are fires at factories. These are our notable calls, 35 fires. We did have 3 motor vehicle collisions involving pedestrians, that's people that were hit by vehicles. And then we had the landfill fire, which was our second landfill fire. We were out there for a little while, but these are our public events, and so we were really busy. I want to just talk about the retiree breakfast for a second. That was the first time we have done that. That was crazy for us. We had people come in the department that hadn't been in there in 30 years, and it was busy, and those guys loved it. And some of them came from a nursing home, but they sat there and they were there. We were there all morning with those guys. They stayed till lunch. It was breakfast. We stayed till lunch, and they told stories for hours, and it was great. We're going to continue doing that. We'll make sure that we put that out and invite y'all as well, because it was awesome to hear those guys tell those stories and get together. And some of them hadn't seen each other since they retired. And it was huge. It was a great thing. I would also use this time to do a shameless plug for our public events that we have going on currently, which is our Christmas for Kids. Every year we adopt 50 families so that we provide Christmas for. So if you want to go to our social media or just call me or call the station, we do have several families left, we do that every year, and it's a wonderful thing. For our EMS, we ended up with 2,700 calls this quarter, with 2,200 of those being 911, which is also normal for us. Just really busy quarter for us. I believe that's it. Are there any questions?
Any questions for Chief Futrell? Travis, you got any ambulance board questions for him while you're here?
I know it.
Been a hot item lately.
I'm good.
All right. Chief Futrell, we appreciate it.
Thank you.
So I guess we're down to, we can't
we can
do an adjournment because we can't vote. So I will go ahead and announce that since we were unable to reach a quorum tonight, I know that we have several folks here in the gallery tonight that are coming because there's some things on here that y'all want to see get done. We are going to go ahead and schedule a special call committee of the whole meeting for Tuesday, the 21st. It's going to be before the city council meeting. We're going to schedule that for 5 o'clock. So that'll give us an hour to get this business. We have some business of the city that needs to be tended to. So we will be back Tuesday. Hopefully there'll be 7 of us here and we can get it done. So with that, I guess we're just going to adjourn the meeting, and thanks everyone for coming.